Hey everyone, so a lot of people been asking me what I think about Wriothesley, like what's my honest opinion about him. He's a fun unit. About the damage and stuff, his damage will be good. Once you invest properly in a unit, his damage will be good. But if you have a unit like Ayaka, I really see no need of pulling him because I personally think that his best team will be in a Ayaka replacement team, meaning that you're going to use him in a freeze team. If you have units like Shenha and stuff, I don't see a need running him in a melt team. If you're someone like me that likes variety and don't like to just keep using Shinsho and Zhanglin, or maybe you have another team that could use them, you may not want to run a melt team with him, given the fact that he might not be melting as much. If I had to guess with his attack combo string, I think like he might melt the same amount of times that Yoimiya vaporize in a team with Shinsho. So he might get off like maybe 2 to 3 melts and it will be good, but I could see a team with Shenha, Kazuha and Kokomi a much more fun and a much more easy team to run. And using a team like that doesn't really require you to use a ton of energy or the rotations. Even if you mess it up, you will freeze the enemy. Now, when you start investing in characters like me, like majority of all my time, I'm just investing in characters. I could care less about the story of Genshin or whatever. I simply play this game to build my units and get stronger. I have a pretty good Ayaka. And if I had to guess, seeing how Linne compares to Hu Tao, and I honestly thought that he wouldn't stand a chance against her because my Hu Tao has a Staff of Homa and I have been invested in her for quite a while now, maybe a year and more, to get the perfect Crimson Witch set. Even up to now, I haven't gotten that perfect set. I thought that he couldn't be anything good as Hu Tao, and after a couple tests and a ton of Spiral Abyss runs, like hours and hours of Spiral Abyss runs, I have to say that they are equal, even though he doesn't have his best in slot artifact set or his best in slot weapon. But I do think the 2-piece Crimson and the 2-piece Glads might be his better option if you could manage the crit ratio. So I think that they are equal. Now, if I had to guess with Wriothesley compared to Ayaka, because that's what everyone's comparison is going to be based on, Ayaka versus Wriothesley, who is much more better? I think that if Wriothesley energy regeneration isn't as bad as Ayaka's, and he could ult like maybe 1 to maybe 2 times faster than Ayaka, his DPS will catch up. I'm not sure how his normal and charge attack damage will be. Obviously, it will be good because he is mostly based on normal and charge attacks. But Ayaka does have a very, very strong normal and charge attack, especially if you combo it with a character like Shenha. If I had to get Wriothesley, I would say that Shenha is a must to use with him in a freeze team. She will provide so much damage because even if her stacks run out, her passive does give him like 15% normal and charge attack damage. Now, this is just based on first look. I haven't looked into any details about the numbers and the stats or anything, but Wriothesley tends to kind of balance their units nowadays. Most of the units that we are getting are always comparable, if not a little bit better or a little bit less than what we have already. Well, with the proper investment, you could get him to hit like a truck. There's no doubt about that. But I've noticed a trend nowadays. You will have one character with like a certain rotation that will dish out a ton and a ton of damage for a very small window, and then you switch off. But then there are other characters that of the same element which may have a little less damage but have more consistent damage throughout the entire rotation and the entire playthrough. And that's what I think Wriothesley will be in. I really think at C0, Ayaka is more of a burst DPS. You funnel a ton of energy on her, and you swap into her, you use a burst, you do like 1 or 2 charge attacks, and you jump out, and you funnel back energy. That's how I use her, and I find it to have the fastest clear time out of all the other ways you could play her. That's in a freeze team. If I had to guess with Wriothesley, I would say that it might be kind of similar, but he plays into this normal and charge attacking role, and you will want to stay on the field with him a little longer. And if I had to say, you might want to stay on field until the Hydro application runs out. So even though Ayaka has this big set of highs, she has a ton of lows, and I think that Wriothesley might have a more consistent damage, and they always seem to align, and it always seems to have a certain point that the 2 units will always reach. I learned that lesson with Linne and Hu Tao when I was doing the comparison in the shorts video that I did. Hu Tao was in the lead like maybe by like 30 or maybe 40% of the HP of the enemy, she was ahead of. And then all of a sudden, Linnea just picked up. And I have seen this trend going on for a while. So you could have consistent high damage like Hu Tao, or you could have a unit like Linnea with just a mad set of burst damage all of a sudden, and then you swap off, you generate back some energy, you complete your rotation, and then you get back on him. So Wriothesley, yeah, he's a good unit. He has the swag. He has a very, very nice animation. His burst looks good. Releasing a bad character right now, it's... I don't know how they could do that. You could literally take any unit that's coming out right now, even if they are niche, throw in some good supports. Like, we have some of the most godly supports. You throw them into the mix and you can make almost any unit look good. The experience is another thing. You can have some units with some high damage, and then they have a lot of low times. Let's say you take Hu Tao, for example, and you put her against an enemy that keeps going up into the air. That's a lot of lows. So against certain enemies, a character like Yoimiya, she will peak. But in the case of Wriothesley and Ayaka, they are very, very similar. So at first, I'm sure you're going to see his normal and charge attack damage doing some crazy numbers compared to Ayaka's normal and charge attack until she drops her burst. And that's why I think it will kind of balance off and equalize. So yeah, if you don't have Ayaka, he's a good unit to get. He looks very fun. And again, I'm not saying not to run him in any form of teams. Even if you want to run him in a meld team, you could go ahead, bro. This game is pretty easy. Once you're having fun with a unit, it will keep you playing this game, and it will kind of lighten the fact that there isn't an end game or anything else to do. Leave it to us down below what you think about Wriothesley. Hit the like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.
Stars shining really, moon visions in my sight, landing nowhere with the sight. Had to take her with me, she was tasty to my sight.